Hey, what's up, amigos? Today we're diving deep into something that every guy needs to hear, but not everyone wants to admit, those red flags that scream. Bro, she's not the one. We've all been there, right? Caught up in the thrill of a new romance, only to realize way too late that she wasn't who we thought she was. Trust me, I've been down that road and it's not pretty. But the good news, you don't have to make the same mistakes. So what are we doing today? I'm about to drop some truth bombs that'll save you time, hear heartache, and maybe even a couple of bucks. And let's be real, in today's dating world, those are all things we could use more of, right? Stick around, because trust me, you're gonna want to hear this. Before we jump in though, have you ever wondered why so many guys keep getting stuck in the same cycle of bad relationships? Why does it always seem like you're dating the same person with a different face? Well, the answer might surprise you. It's all about recognizing the signs early on. Too often, we ignore those little red flags because we don't want to see them. But today, we're turning on the lights and facing them head on. So let's get into it. Here are the 7 unmistakable signals that she's just not worth your time. 1. Inconsistent communication. First up, let's talk about communication. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a firm believer that communication is the backbone of any solid relationship. Ever found yourself staring at your phone, waiting hours, maybe even days for a response? You send a text, and boom, crickets. And when she does reply, it's all over the place, sometimes warm, other times cold, leaving you more confused than before. Yeah, not cool. Here's the thing, guys. If she can't be bothered to keep the conversation going consistently, it's not just a bad sign, it's a clear indicator she's not invested. Remember, if someone wants you in their life, they'll make time for you. It's that simple. We all have busy lives, but it's all about priorities. If she's interested, she'll find a way to stay in touch. If she's not, well, you're just filling the empty spaces in her day. Harsh, maybe, but it's the truth. So stop wasting yours on someone who doesn't. Now, you might be thinking, but what if she's just really busy? Here's the deal, everyone's busy. But when someone truly cares about you, they'll make an effort. Even a quick hey, thinking about you text takes less than 10 seconds to send. If she can't even manage that, you're not a priority. And let's face it, you deserve to be someone's priority, not an afterthought. So if her communication is more erratic than your Wi-Fi connection, it's time to take a step back. Don't let yourself get caught in the trap of overanalyzing every little text. Trust me, if it's this complicated now, it's only going to get worse. Cut your losses and move on to someone who actually values you and your time. 2. Lack of support for your goals. Now, this one's a biggie. Support. A woman who truly cares about you will be your biggest cheerleader, not your biggest critic. Does she roll her eyes when you talk about your ambitions? Or maybe she just brushes off your dreams like they don't matter? If that's the case, it's a serious red flag. You deserve someone who's gonna lift you up, not tear you down. Let me tell you something, if she's not backing your goals, it's time to question if she really feeds into your future. Think about it for a second. The right partner will push you to be better, to chase your dreams, and to never settle for less than what you deserve. They'll celebrate your wins, big or small, and they'll be there to pick you up when things don't go as planned. But if you're with someone who can't even muster up some basic enthusiasm for what you're passionate about, that's a huge problem. Maybe you've got dreams of starting your own business, or you're passionate about a hobby that means the world to you. A supportive partner will ask you about it, show interest, and maybe even try to get involved. They'll want to see you succeed because your success is their success too. But if every time you mention your goals, she changes the subject or gives you that blank stare, it's a clear sign she's not invested in your growth. And here's the kicker, when someone doesn't support your goals, it's not just about indifference. It's often a sign that they don't see a future with you. Because if they did, they care about where you're headed, right? If she's not in your corner, then what's the point? You need someone who's going to walk with you on this journey, not someone who's just along for the ride. So, take a good hard look at how she reacts when you talk about your dreams. If she's not cheering you on, it's time to find someone who will. Life's too short to spend with someone who doesn't believe in you. 3. Avoidance of commitment. Alright, let's get real about commitment. If she dodges every conversation about the future or avoids making any long-term plans, newsflash, she's not thinking of you in the long haul. Look, we're not saying every date needs to come with a wedding ring, but if she's constantly keeping things vague, it's time to reconsider. Don't let yourself get caught up in a relationship that's going nowhere. Your time and emotions are too valuable for that. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everyone's ready to jump into something serious right away. That's cool, but there's a difference between taking things slow and actively avoiding any discussion about where things are headed. If every time you bring up future plans, whether it's a trip next year or even something as simple as meeting the family, she changes the subject or makes excuses, that's a major red flag. You see, when someone cares about you, they naturally start to think about the future with you in it. It doesn't have to be about marriage or kids, but there should be some indication that they're planning on sticking around. But if she's always keeping things in the here and now, it's time to question why that is. Is she afraid of commitment? Or maybe she's just not that into you. Either way, you deserve someone who's not afraid to take that next step with you. And let's talk about those mixed signals. Ever been in a situation where she's all lovey-dovey one minute and then distant the next? One day she's talking about how great things are, and the next she's pulling away faster than you can say relationship. That push and pull can drive you crazy, right? It leaves you questioning everything. But here's the thing, if she's really into you, there won't be any mixed signals. It'll be clear as day. So if she's avoiding commitment like it's the plague, don't waste your time trying to change her mind. You can't force someone to be ready for something they're not. Instead, focus on finding someone who's on the same page as you, someone who's just as excited about the future as you are. 4. Lack of trust. Here's the deal, trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. But if you're constantly being questioned, if she's suspicious without cause, or if you're always feeling like you need to prove your loyalty, that's toxic. A relationship without trust is like trying to sail a ship without an anchor. It's gonna drift and eventually it'll sink. You deserve better, so don't let anyone make you feel otherwise. Now, I'm not saying that trust issues can't be worked through. We all have baggage, right? But there's a difference between working through issues and being constantly accused of things you didn't do. If she's always questioning where you are, who you're with, or what you're doing, that's not love, it's control. And nobody should have to live under a microscope. Maybe she's been hurt in the past and she's bringing that into your relationship, but it's not your job to fix her trust issues. She needs to work on that herself. In a healthy relationship, trust should be the default, not something you have to constantly earn. If she can't trust you, then the relationship is doomed from the start. And let's not forget, trust goes both ways. If she's constantly questioning you, it might be worth asking yourself why. Is it just her insecurity, or is there something deeper going on? Sometimes people project their own guilt onto others. So if she's always accusing you of things you haven't done, it might be because she's the one with something to hide. At the end of the day, a relationship without trust is like trying to drive a car without gas. It's not going anywhere. So if you're feeling like you're always on trial, it's time to hit the brakes and reevaluate. Trust is everything. Without it, you're just setting yourself up for heartbreak. 5. Disinterest in your passions. Let's talk about interests. A good partner will at least try to engage with the things that light you up, even if it's just to understand you better. But if she couldn't care less about your hobbies, or worse, mocks them, it's a clear sign she's not invested in you as a person. A healthy relationship is about sharing, even if it's just appreciating what the other person loves. If that's missing, what are you really left with? Imagine this, you're super into a hobby. Maybe it's gaming, painting, or collecting vintage records. You share this passion with her, hoping she'll get excited too, or at least show some interest. But instead, she dismisses it, makes fun of it, or just straight up ignores it. Ouch. That's not just a lack of interest, that's a lack of respect. Now, don't get me wrong. She doesn't have to love everything you love, but if she's really into you, she'll at least make an effort to understand why it's important to you. Maybe she doesn't get the whole gaming thing, but she should still respect that it's something that makes you happy. And if she's not even willing to try, that says a lot about where her priorities are. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and understanding. It's about appreciating each other's differences and celebrating what makes each of you unique. If she's not interested in what makes you tick, then what's the point? You deserve someone who's going to share in your passions, even if it's just from the sidelines. And let's be real, if she's disinterested in your hobbies now, what's it going to be like in the long run? Are you always going to have to hide parts of yourself just to keep the peace? That's no way to live, man. Life's too short to be with someone who doesn't appreciate you for who you are, quirks and all. So, if she's not interested in your passions, it's time to find someone who is. Someone who'll cheer you on, even if they don't fully get it. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to be with someone who loves every part of you, not just the parts that are convenient. 6. Not being your true self. Ever catch yourself putting on an act around her? Maybe holding back on things you'd usually say or do just to keep her happy? If you can't be your true self in the relationship, it's a huge red flag. The right person will accept you for who you are, quirks and all. But if you're constantly pretending, not only are you betraying yourself, but you're also setting yourself up for future disappointment. Don't let that happen. Here's the thing, relationships are supposed to be a safe space, a place where you can be your weird, wonderful self without fear of judgment. But if you're always walking on eggshells, trying to fit into some mold that's not you, then what's the point? You can't build a real connection if you're not being real. Maybe you've got a goofy sense of humor, or you're super into something that's a little nerdy. If she's the right one, she'll love that about you. But if you're constantly holding back, trying to be the person you think she wants, you're only setting yourself up for heartache. Because eventually, the real you is going to come out. And if she's not into that, then all that pretending will have been for nothing. And let's be honest, it's exhausting trying to be someone you're not. It's like wearing a mask all the time. Sooner or later, it's going to slip. The right relationship should feel easy. It should feel like coming home. But if you're always stressed about saying the wrong thing or acting the wrong way, it's time to reevaluate, because a relationship built on anything other than authenticity is doomed to fail. So if you're finding that you can't be yourself around her, it's time to take a step back. Ask yourself why you feel the need to pretend. Is it because you think she won't like the real you? Or is it because deep down, you know she's not the one? Whatever the reason, don't waste your time being someone you're not. The right person will love you for exactly who you are. 7. The relationship drains you. Finally, let's talk about energy. Relationships should add to your life, not drain it. If you find yourself feeling more stressed, more anxious, and just plain tired all the time, something's wrong. A healthy partnership is about mutual support and happiness, not constant drama and exhaustion. If you're feeling like the relationship is taking more than it's giving, it's time to reconsider. Life's too short to waste on something that's bringing you down. Think about it, when you're with the right person, even the hard times don't feel so hard. You should feel supported, energized, and happy even when life throws curveballs. But if you're constantly feeling drained, like the relationship is more of a burden than a blessing, that's a huge red flag. Maybe it's the constant arguments, or maybe it's just a general feeling of unease. Whatever it is, if the relationship is causing you more stress than joy, it's time to take a step back. Relationships are supposed to lift you up, not wear you down. You should feel excited to see your partner, not dreading what drama might unfold next. And let's not forget about your mental and emotional health. If you're always feeling anxious or depressed because of the relationship, that's not love, that's toxicity. You deserve to be with someone who makes you feel good, not someone who's constantly draining your energy. Don't settle for a relationship that's making you unhappy. You're worth more than that. So if you're feeling exhausted, stressed, or just plain unhappy in your relationship, it's time to ask yourself why. What's keeping you there? Is it fear of being alone? Is it because you've invested so much time and energy that you don't want to let go? Whatever the reason, remember this: your happiness comes first. Don't stay in a relationship that's sucking the life out of you. You deserve better. Alright, fellas, let's wrap this up. The truth is, love can be an amazing journey, but only if you're on the right path with the right person. Don't be afraid to take a step back and ask yourself, is this really what I want? What I deserve? Self-love is the first step to finding a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Keep these signs in mind and make sure you're pursuing what truly brings you happiness. And if you've been nodding along, recognizing these signs in your own life, it might be time for a change. Remember, knowing when to walk away is a strength, not a weakness. Thanks for sticking around. You've got this. Before you go, I've got to ask, which of these signs hit home for you? Drop a comment below with your thoughts or experiences. And if you found this video helpful, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Catch you in the next one.